Hi everyone, today I'll be sharing my 2022 analog notebook system. So notebooks have been really interesting for me to use this year because it's been a while since I've kept a consistent notebook. Previously, I would be jotting down my thoughts a lot on my phone, sometimes on my computer, and it was just gets scattered everywhere, and then you have social media pulling my attention. Now I have more consistent notebook usage, which is great, and that's really complemented a lot of my planner use. So I wanted to share some of my notebooks with everyone, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and I'm curious, do you keep a notebook? People seem to not keep notebooks as often anymore because we live in such a digital, fast-paced world. Having a notebook, requires you to sit down, get a pen, open it up, close it. So it does add a few more steps. So there is still something though about seeing your thoughts written out. It kind of gives you a little more space to process them and observe them. And that's really helped me, especially when I'm grappling with, bigger things. So let's get into it. My Hobonichi A6, this is my fun notebook. I don't put pressure on it. I do basically whatever I want with this. I put stickers on it. I test out my pens. These are my Jelly Roll pens. I do fountain pen ink tests. As you can see, I put a Yoseka sticker on it because I do love that shop. My Hobonichi has arrived on Friday. So it is dated daily pages, but I don't put too much pressure on it. I kind of do whatever I want with it, and that's been good enough for me. It's really helped me let go of perfectionist tendencies, especially when I'm drawing. I would just doodle something and then I just move on because you get a fresh page every day. And if I don't do anything, that's totally okay too, because I can always go back. And I love the Hobonichi quotes. It's just quite lovely to see quotes. They're very quirky. They're not like motivational quotes that pressure you to, do all your goals or anything. They're just a little slice of life type of quotes. And I love the paper, how it feels. I'm excited to use the Hobonichi A5 cousin next year. So this is my last year using the A6. But I couldn't really use this as a planner because it's so blank and it only has 12 to break up morning and evening. For me, I need the whole timeline, and I need a weekly view, which this one doesn't have, but I really enjoy it. And this is the original size for Hobonichi. The A6 size came first. So yeah, this is a fun notebook for me. No pressure. I doodle whatever I want, write whatever I want, put different quotes. Watch a cool movie, I'll write down like a sentence about it here. Just because I wanted to. Yeah, that's really it. Next up, I have the Traveler's Notebook. So this is my first Traveler's Notebook. I got it this summer and I was very excited about it. I got it from a cool shop called Baumkuchen, and I love the concept of this notebook. So this notebook is supposed to be a companion for you throughout your life because you can swap out the inserts in the middle. So you don't need a new notebook. You just have to get an insert, you put it in, and you can use these elastic bands to play around with it, put it in, take it out, which is really cool. I love the concept. It's very simple. You're like, oh, I could have thought of it and created a cult notebook system, but sometimes the smallest things have, the most thoughtful details. One thing I hate about this is that it does not lie flat. And this is okay if you're like on the go. So like, let's say you're on a train, you're just kind of like doing something really quick and then you're closing it. But I wouldn't really enjoy using this on my desk, and that's why I don't use it at home, because it keeps flipping. So then I bought this clip. To clip it down, but it's still not a full lay flat. So then you might need to use more clips, right? You need more clips to clip it down. And then after a while, you're like, wow, this is taking a long time. So sometimes I see people put one on the bottom too, if they want like a full lay flat. And you can do watercolor in it. This is Midori paper, MD paper, which is fantastic paper. And they sell all types of inserts, grid, lined. I have a lined in the front, and I took this, on a trip with me, and I really enjoyed writing a few minutes every day in it just to capture everything, and it was nice. It was really, really nice because it feels nice in your hand. It feels very cozy when you're just like journaling at a cafe with a traveler's notebook. But it drives me nuts that it does not lay flat, the inserts that they sell. So I may have to look for an insert that is, that flat lay binding, and then put it in this notebook. I'm not sure if that exists because it might be too thick, but we'll see. All right. And yes, I did try to put this clip as the main clip to clip it down, and it just wouldn't hold. So then I ended up having to get one of their clips. I could just put that there. And then here I have the Midori line notebook, and this is my favorite notebook of all time. It's a beautiful notebook. The spacing in it is perfect. It's very minimalist. It's a cream color. It works with fountain pen inks. I do sometimes wonder why this notebook isn't even more popular. Tomoe River paper is not everything. I love this notebook for long form writing, and especially if you have racing thoughts, if you have a lot of thoughts and your hand needs to write in cursive in order to keep up with it, this is such a great notebook for it because it has some tooth. It has a little bit of more, I would say, graininess to capture the nib so it doesn't slide. I would say Tomoe River paper, because it's coated, my pen would just slide across. And so then sometimes it's not as legible. But this one I can have great control over all my letters in cursive, so it can keep up with the pace of my thoughts. And there's something about this one, so you can tell here, this is a lay flat because of how it's, that's kind of stitching. And I don't really split this up into like 4, but you can if you wanted to do some brainstorming on it. There's something about how this notebook feels on my desk, that this is the notebook I use when I'm processing, bigger thoughts that I need to. Not just things that happen throughout the day, but just, sometimes you have an urge to write in a notebook. This is the notebook that I use for those types of instances. I still have quite a way to go, so it might take me another year to fill this out. Or maybe 6 months if I have more thoughts, who knows. And then I have the Mnemosyne notebook, and this is my project notebook, and this is the layout that it comes in. So I do split up my project into different pages and different sections, and I like that it is sectioned out with title and date. So this is a very project-oriented notebook for me, and you can tear it off, which I like because projects don't always go as planned, and sometimes I just want a fresh start and pretend it didn't happen. So that's been kind of helpful to have a spiral bound for my project notebook, as well as you can just tear it off here. You can see that it's perforated. The spacing in the lines on here is also really nice. It's great spacing. It looks very neat, and it's spacious enough for all types of letter sizes, really. So that is my Mnemosyne notebook. I only just started it, so this is going to take me maybe more than a year to fill out, if even. So because it has such a specific purpose, I don't think I'll need, I don't use this every day or even every week. It's just when I have a project that I'm working on. This one is more of my diary. This is my travelers. And then this is just my fun one. So what will I take going forward? I will not be getting an A6 Hobonichi, but those 3, I'll be moving forward with me to 2023. So that's the perk of undated notebooks. You can move forward with some. I've also made a promise to myself that I have to finish these notebooks before I buy another notebook, because 3 notebooks to keep track of is actually enough for me, especially if one of them has multiple inserts. So this is a good spacing for me. 3 notebooks, specific purposes, and yeah, I'm excited to bring them forward. So they'll be joining me in the new year, as well as their planner buddies that I'll be sharing in another video. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm curious, do you keep a notebook? And what inspires you to keep a notebook? There's not as many people keeping notebooks these days anymore because of our phones, our computers. So if you do keep one, I'm curious to know how that analog system is working out for you. So I'll see you all next time, and I hope you have a nice, restful rest of the week.